beautiful creative souls. It's Pollyanna Blanco back here in the garden, and I'm so happy that you're joining me for a soul snack from my book, In Rhythm with Your Soul. I was listening to my inner guidance today, and I got this big bolt of inspiration that I really want to share little excerpts from my book with you, to form a little book club, if you will, because we're living at a time in the world that is where you and I are all experiencing the effects of rapid change, what feels like time speeding up. And I originally wrote this book, In Rhythm with Your Soul. It birthed through me because I wanted to encourage people to follow their creative impulses and not throw in the towel too soon. You are a creative being, and I'm not just talking about artistically, I'm talking about you are creation energy itself. Right now, whether you remember it or not, you have chosen to be here on earth for the great shift of ages. We're all in. And we don't need to look very far outside of ourselves to notice that a lot of things are crumbling around us, things that no longer are working, old paradigms that are holding us back and creating pain and suffering in the world. And that old world paradigm that is crumbling is making way for a new world to birth. You know, there are moments in my life too where, as much as I'm on a journey of awakening and spiritual growth, and I have been for close to 20 years, I bump up against my edges, as we all do. It's a never-ending, spiraling, expansive journey of self-discovery and exploration. So be gentle with yourselves at this time. You know, we just went through a full moon lunar eclipse the other night too, so you might be also bumping up against the edges of things in your life that may be hard to let go of, but you also at the same time sense that they're no longer serving your highest good. And you see, when we let go of things that are weighing us down, creating struggle or suffering in our lives unnecessarily, just know that you're also creating the space for something better to come in. This new world that's wanting to birth is not happening outside of you to you, even if it feels like so much maybe in your life has been, especially since the pandemic, happening to you. What it really is this new world is birthing through you and I. So more than ever, how you respond to the energy outside of you and within you is key. And this excerpt I'm going to share with you speaks to that. So if you do have a copy of this book, you can open it up to page 94. And if not, you can just listen as I read it to you. Life happens. Sometimes a flat tire throws a wrench into our plans. A flight is canceled, or we are diagnosed with an illness despite our healthy lifestyle. Our days are full of surprises, some welcome and some not. To live problem-free is an unrealistic expectation. It's not so much what happens to us as how we choose to respond to what happens. However, swimming frantically in the middle of our fishbowl, sick with dizziness, we are more likely to react than respond. Esther and Jerry Hicks write and speak about our emotional guidance system, saying that if something doesn't feel good, it is our inner guidance system signaling that we have lost our connection with Source, that realm where our higher self resides before we come into physical being. Bumping up against what we don't want is the contrast we need in order to choose what we do want instead. So the question I leave you with today is, what is it that you no longer want in your life? And what is it that you do want to create? It is so easy to focus on all the stuff that's not working, that we don't like, that upsets us, and react to it. And yes, we need to acknowledge those things. We don't want to, bypass them or avoid them or deny them. However, we don't want to stop just there. Ask yourself, what would feel better? What would be better? And dare to dream. That's where your creative imagination can come in. And I'll speak more about that in upcoming Soul Snacks. But just start with that question for now. It's a very simple yet profound question. Any moment you bump up against something that causes you some frustration, some irritation, just pause, place your hand on your heart, Take a few deep breaths in and out and just ask yourself, what's this? Be curious. Notice if it is your higher self speaking. By the way, if that's a new term for you, your higher self is that expanded self. It's actually, we're living in the third dimension. Your higher self lives, catch this, in the 22nd dimension. So yeah, it has a little bit more of a, panoramic view than your 3D self. And so your higher self is a lot closer to source. And if source is a term you're thinking, what's she talking about? Source. Source is that universal cosmic energy origin that you and I all have come from. And source is really the cosmic creation womb. It's the allness and nothingness. It's beyond duality and polarity. And some people really have different names for it, but I'm just going to call it source for now because it's very non-dogmatic and very non-denominational. So source energy is that unity, that at oneness, that wholeness, and what happens is that energy, that light energy, that love energy, that allness and nothingness that you and I each come from, starts to drop down through the dimensional layers, refracts along the way, and that becomes, it passes through your higher self and then keeps until the particles slow down enough that you're actually taking up a physical form. So, needless to say, you have your best friend with you all the time, and your best friend is your higher self. So, hand it over to your higher self if you don't know why something is happening in your life or showing up in your life, because that is the beginning of the transformative process. Stay tuned for more excerpts coming up. I wish you infinite creative blessings and infinite creative abundance on this journey. As you get in rhythm with your soul, many blessings. Be well.